Hi everybody, it's Carla. It is Monday, and here in Alabama we were expecting snow overnight. It's only about 30 degrees right now. It's 9:30 in the morning, and we didn't get the snow, but we've got really heavy gusts of wind, so if you hear things knocking around outside, that's what's happening. And it's just a gray and dreary November day. And I have a son that's working up north, and there's like blizzard conditions and black ice on the roads. And yeah, it's just a crazy, crazy time here for early November. But I wanted to show you some things I've been working on. And I've been using a knitting loom by CinDwood. And it's a 1/4 inch 56 peg loom. And I've completed one sock, here you can see, and I'm making good progress on the second sock. And then on a 11 inch number 2 circular needle, I made a pair of socks here. But the unique thing about this is I'm using the Lion brand Mandala 100% acrylic yarn in the color Gnome, Gnome. And there's 590 yards and 5.3 ounces per skein of this, or it comes in a cake rather, I'm sorry. And these are the colors of the cake. And out of, I took 2 of these cakes, and out of a little over 1.5, I will have made 2 pairs of socks. Because I went down into the cake and got the colors that I wanted, and I had to dig through then the second cake to make sure I got the same color way so that I would have matching pairs of socks. And that's what this one is. These I've already worn and washed, and being 100% acrylic, they're machine washable, machine dryable, and they came out super soft. And you can see here the knitting with the number 2 circular needle. And then these over here, like I said, I haven't totally finished them yet. Now, a unique design I used on this one and on the loom knitted one that I've never done before is after I did the ribbing up here, which I think was knit 2 purl 2 or something, I'm not sure. I think it's knit 1 purl 1. Then it went to stockinette stitch, and then before I made the heel, which it's a short row heel, I did ribbing again. I guess this was the knit 2 purl 2, and the ribbing down here by the heel was knit 1 purl 1. I did that for I believe 10 rows. Then I did the heel, then 10 more rows of the knit 1 purl 1, and then I went into the foot shape. And then for the toe, I did the on this one I did, I believe, a barn toe. Yes, I did a barn toe down there, and I just decreased, and then the next row I worked it even, and then decreased and even and decreased and even, and when I got to a certain point, then I just bound it off and I stitched the end shut. On this one with the loom knitting, I started up here at the cuff, and I think I did 12 rows, and then of a ribbing, knit 1 purl 1 rib, and then I did 12 rows of just the stockinette stitch, and then I brought the original, or the beginning edge, back over the pegs of the loom, and it made a enclosed, and you can see it here, an enclosed cuff instead of just a ribbing cuff. And I find that that fits better for me. It closes in your ends. You can tuck in those color change ends of the yarn up into that, and you don't have to try to weave them in afterwards at the end of the sock. Okay, I did the same thing here. Let me turn it over. On this heel, I did the ribbing, and then I did the heel that you make on a loom. Then I did the ribbing, and then I did the foot. And then on loom knitted socks, the heel and the toes are made exactly the same. So it's like you've made a second heel here, but it leaves it to where you can just weave it shut. And I did here, I uh, stitched it closed on top. Now you don't feel any bumps or anything on the inside. It's a little bit rugged here on the outside, but this was my first time doing it on this particular loom. I've made slipper socks on a larger loom, but I hadn't really made too many. I think I've made a couple, but I had tried to weave it with the Kitchener stitch and stuff. But what I did on this one, when I got to this point, and after I made my toe, then I just bound it off. I didn't decide to try to weave it or Kitchener stitch or anything like that. I just bound it off, and then over the 28 stitches out of 56, so half of that is 28, I just sewed it shut, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth across. So yeah, it just turned out pretty and colorful. And 2 pair of socks out of 1.5 or less than 1.5 cakes of Mandala 100% acrylic yarn I thought was a really, really neat bargain. And it says it is a light number 3, but it's not too much bigger than a sock weight yarn, really. I mean, I've got sock yarn and I held them up and they look very, very similar. And so it's just some people use size 1 needles. I don't have a size 1 in this size circular. And the 11-inch circular, which I ended up getting off of eBay, is a brand. I think it came from Boye, B-O-Y-E. But it's like a vintage one because you don't see the 11-inch. You see a lot of 9 inches out there. And you see a few that are out of some Scandinavian country that are that are 12 inches. But this was the one I happened upon with a size 11 inch. And I've got them in 0, I've got them in 2, and I've got them in 4. And for my slipper socks, I usually use the 4 and a worsted weight yarn, and that turns out really, really nicely. So yeah, I just wanted to share this, and I put it on a colorful background to counteract the gray day we're having outside. You can kind of see out here, just kind of gray looking. The sky is gray, and the leaves are pretty much about half gone on the trees. So yeah. I just wanted to bring a little bit of color into this gray day and show you what I've been working on. And if you ever get a chance to loom knit, I know a lot of people start out making a scarf, and then they progress to a hat, and then they progress to other things. Well, that's how it worked for me too. And I love loom knitting. I've got arthritis in my hands, and loom knitting is very, very gentle to my hands and fingers. And then when I'm having a day where my fingers are not bothering me too much, I love making socks in the round. And this year I just went sock crazy. I just love making socks. I've made some for my husband and one son, but they're more like slipper socks. And then I've made quite a few pairs for myself because I do enjoy wearing socks, and I like to wear them year-round, not on the hottest summer days, but on any kind of spring, fall, and definitely winter days. I love to wear socks, and I got to tell you, knitted socks, hand-knitted socks are so much nicer than store-bought socks. I never had known that before. So here I am in my mid-60s, and I learned something new, and I'm having a blast making these. So I just wanted to share them with you. And yes, they're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not some seasoned sock knitter. I just picked this up, and in less than a year I've been making socks. So a lot of trial and error, but I found some nifty tricks like this little ribbing before and after the heel. It really cinches the heel in and makes it more stable around your ankle. And especially here too on the loom knitted one, you can see it a lot more nicely there. Let me turn it over again where you can see it on the back. You can see it above the heel and below the heel, and it really does increase the stability around your ankle and keeps your socks on nicely. And I'm just going to put that design element in my socks from now on. I think it just adds something to it. Okay, everyone, and like I said, this is acrylic yarn, machine washable and dryable, and it leaves such a nice soft hand. I've already washed these once, and they're just so soft. And these are yet to be finished, and they haven't been washed yet obviously, but I'm sure I'll get the same result out of this sock. And yeah, it's a very economical way. I bought these when Hobby Lobby had them on sale, I think, for in the springtime, and they were clearancing out colors, and I think I paid $1.79 for a cake of Mandala yarn. And so, you know, 2 pairs of socks for less than $4. You can't beat that. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate each one of you that takes the time to watch and comment. Talk to you later. Bye.